All right, we'll get started in just 1 second here. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. All right, we're going to be talking about the Pranic lifestyle, 7 day salt bath and shower challenge. So, you step out of a long shower after a long day and you wash off the physical dirt, but why do you still feel so heavy? I mean, you do feel like a little bit lighter when you take a shower, but like there's also stuff like emotions, mental energy, etheric energy, like negative cords that might not go away. And we're going to show you how to use salt and essential oils and water to extract these energies. So, we know about this like feeling of like extra weight on the shoulders. Like there's a saying of like they've got the weight on their shoulders or the weight of the world on their shoulders. It's because there's actually like energy, like stored energy, back solar plexus, back heart. It's like on the spine, Ming Men, and it all gets stored back here and in other places too. But the salt extraction protocol, the psychic vacuum. Salt crystals magnetically draw dense, dirty prana out of the physical and etheric bodies. You can actually program the salt and the water and the oil. The frequency software. Essential oils like lavender project high frequency violet, electric violet light through placed basically helps purify the chakras and relaxes the nervous system. There's something called lineal and lineal. Anyways, there's two L words that it's got certain chemicals that relax the body. And it's systematic disintegration. Mercury gray energy residue um gets dissolved as soon as it hits the water. And it'll result in nice clean chakra. And then the chakra web hopefully gets sealed up. Some of these might be duplicates too. So sensory leakage, a porous primer acting as a high affinity sponge for the environmental friction in your orbit. So you have, this aura energy field, but there can be holes in the aura. There can be energetic holes so that these energies can just pass through like a screen. Energy clingers, unauthorized auric hooks siphoning your vitality, while you're doing meetings or, doing normal family stuff. People cord the solar plexus and other chakras. And they could be, kind of like hooks and like kind of like little energetic claws and stuff. They just clamp down on the chakra. So there's something called the piezoelectric power. There's basically, the energetic the holding power, like the of crystals, like we were taught in prior crystal healing about crystals. Well, these are like little crystals, the salt. And when you mix it with the liquid prana, which is essential oils, it'll help extract the dense emotional sludge that is dragging down your vitality. And we're going to sever these cords, drain your energy, and we're going to do it in just 7 days. Rule number one, energy has mass. We're not here to talk today about passive self-care. We are not here you can simply think positive thoughts to fix a chaotic life. We are here to discuss the literal physics of your subtle anatomy. So a little bit diagnostics, system noise. Your invisible labor has actual physical mass. Every argument, stressful deadline, and passive aggressive email crystallizes into dirty etheric energy. Have you ever spent 5 minutes with someone and walked away needing a 3-hour nap? This is emotional parasitism. They are siphoning. We are screen sharing. Okay, one more thing. Do, 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 do. Sorry, just 1 second here. All these things on the screen is kind of tough sometimes to navigate around all these things on the screen. All right. All right. So the anatomy of Auric hooks, unauthorized tethers link another's chaotic energy field to yours. So it's like a two-way interaction. These act like two-way straws, siphoning your life out while pumping their frustration in. Like, I don't know if you ever felt like emotions and for no reason, and you're like, why am I feeling all this stuff? That could be yours, but they could also be coming from other people. Sorry, this thing was beeping in here. Okay. So the primary target is the solar plexus chakra. And it's kind of like somebody just plugging into a USB port and sucking energy. And there's also like repressed emotions in the solar plexus chakra, or swallowed frustration, unspoken things. It can build up on the solar to the magman, and it's dirty red energy. So we got executive brain rot. When you have 100 tabs open and you lost them out, this is sensory leakage. Your energetic perimeter is porous, forcing your mind to process constant environmental static. Like, if you see how many tabs I got open here, I had to shut a whole bunch of them. So the decision battery, clogged nadis, the plumbing, which is like the energy channels of your body, um, so about 6 o'clock in the end of the day, people are feeling drained. If you scan your chakras, you'll feel cords on the chakras that you collected throughout the day. That's why it's good to do this every day. And you always want to cleanse before you energize. But sometimes we do energize and then cleanse. But you don't want to push the negative energy down deeper. So we try to clean it off first. Before you can apply the glow, you must perform a deep melt. So we recognize in pranic healing that energy has mass. And this is a review of it was like a double of the slide we had earlier. The illusion of the physical shower is not actually cleansing the emotional body and the mental body and cutting the cords, but it does have some effect though. Normal shower does, normally do feel lighter after shower, but we're going to talk about going deeper and in the bath, which is like way, way, way deeper. So people carry the invisible debris of their entire day, and there could be all kinds of stuff connected to people. Cords, emotions, dirty etheric energy. There might have been some contamination in the place they went. And as you're moving through the world, just driving through places, you're just going through like all kinds of stuff. Even though the car, the windows and the doors might protect like from some of the energy. The systematic friction. To the trained observer, this friction actually looks like thick, sticky, gray, dirty gray energy. It builds up and completely clogs your energetic pathways, causing severe chronic congestion. Your life force is literally choked off at the source. This structural congestion is the exact reason your mind feels foggy and your daily vitality plumps, even if your physical body got 8 hours of sleep. So a standard shower cleans the the physical body, but the bioplasmic body, the aura, the energy body, the spiritual body, etheric, mental, emotional, um, physical, this energy shower cleans it off though, or takes layers of it off. It doesn't might not all come off at once. So emotional parasitism, or just negative cording. They can cord on chakras that they need energy from. Like if they need like navel energy, they can cord on the navel. Solar, a lot of cording is done in the solar, be on the sex, can be ajna for controlling, can be all over the body. So this comes from every toxic interaction, high stress environments. And this is recap of, and might be a double of some of the information there. So when you lack strong energetic boundaries, people who are running on empty will subconsciously form non-physical etheric cords with you. We call these auric hooks or negative, illegal, unauthorized cords or energy connections. They're actually, energy structural tethers that link their kinetic energy field to yours. Are you unknowingly feeding an energy vampire or two or three or four? Um, So, in the 11 chakra system, the solar plexus chakra is the one where you really feel the energy of the world on this. It's like one of the most activated and dirty, congested energy there is. Like most people, it's like super congested with all their life stress because they don't release it. Like maybe if they have an outburst or they get mad and like they expel stuff, it might expel some of the solar plexus. But normally it's just all built up in there. Most people don't know how to, clean it out. So salt is not for just for seasoning. In our system, crystalline salt is active hardware. Crystals. It is a mineral magnet designed for structural hygiene. The piezoelectric jolt. Crystalline structures generate electrical charge when subjected to mechanical stress. When you scrub, you turn the salt into a bioelectric vacuum. So we're talking about like doing AM purification and PM for 7 days. So we do an AM. Preferably you could do the scrub, but you can also do the bath if you have a bathtub. Not everybody has a bathtub, depending on what country you live in, and just depends. But like here in the US, we got bathtubs everywhere. And then we got the PM, which is like the end of the day bath. And if you don't have time, you can do the scrub. So you can alternate the scrubs or the salt bath. And at night we can use instant decaf coffee. And this is like a deep orange prana. And in the morning you could use like coffee too if you want. And we'll go over an example recipe here. The great melt. For the bath, you typically want to submerge for 20 minutes. Be super receptive. Imagine your chakras, the mental, emotional, physical, and bodies being filled with pinkish blue light. And it just depends on what type of bath you're, like what oils you're using, but this is just one example. And if you don't have a tub, you can use the salt mixture. And it's like coffee, salt, could have coconut butter, could have honey. The the coconut butter helps it stick to the skin, and it also moisturizes, because you have to moisturize every day also, because this can dry the skin a little bit. And then we got brown sugar, which is also like one of these famous things that like the supermodels, whatever, use like this brown sugar scrub on their legs or whatever for cellulite or whatever. But brown sugar is like pink light. And these are crystals also, sugar crystals, right? So we got coffee, orange prana, salt, green prana, and then the energy of the oil, depending on which oil you're using, and then the energy we add into it, whether it's green prana, violet, this depends on what we're trying to accomplish. That's a duplicate. You can even use honey, liquid gold. So we got green prana, the solvent, breaks down congestion, sage, tea tree, and many other essential oils also. But like violet prana, lavender, sandalwood, sage has like bluish green violet, orange prana, eucalyptus, frankincense, orange, pink energy, jasmine, rose. And then when you smell the essential oils, it affects the amygdala in the brain here, which is part of the hypothalamus. I think it's, or the hippocampus. And don't quote me on that. But the amygdala, the chill button in the brain. So the crystal essential oil molecules and chemicals come in, passing through the blood-brain barrier, then helping to relax the body. And you can also use a candle in the room, like if you're doing a nice salt bath or a salt shower, and you can program the candle. You can either put a couple drops of essential oil into the candle, what I like to do, but you can actually program the candle to disintegrate any negative thoughts in the room, any negative elementals or whatever. You just name them off. And more about this stuff is in like the Psychic Self-Defense book about using incense and flame. So the 7-day curriculum, like on day one, you can use salt, and if you want to use, decaffeinated, just beware that like if you use too much, it can affect the blood pressure, right? This is coffee here. Just like if you drank a bunch of coffee, right? This goes into your blood, in your skin. So you don't want to like overdo it. And you will feel the buzz from it. But anyway, you can use decaf though. It still has the orange prana. And we're going to talk about the cord cutting here in a little bit. And at nighttime you can do decaf lavender oil. And if you don't have all these other oils, you can just use lavender oil. Every one. So we we extract the ick, and then we can program the energy in, and then it basically helps seal the aura. So you can you can consecrate the essential oils, the water, and the coffee, all the ingredients. You can mix it in a big bowl and then have it by the side of the tub with the water. And you would just be aware of your crown, and you could say to the divine supreme God, fill these salt crystal, essential oils, and water with divine light, divine love, divine power. Thank you, beings of the water and salt for crystals for the extracting power. Thanks for extracting any dirty and diseased energy, negative thought forms, negative elementals, negative entities, dirty etheric energy, anger, stress. Thanks for dissolving any negative, legal, and authorized cords on my chakras and my entire system. And then you just be like super receptive. And you're actually you can be in the tub, like, because you'll absorb this energy and they're like, it might become like really dirty. So you can actually energize the water more. And you like while you're in the tub, you can repeat this type of prayer. Um, thank you for energizing the salt crystals. And then you could, ask the salt crystal, like to extract the dirty energy from you. And so when you're doing the salt scrub, I mean you could turn the water off, you could turn it on, I mean, it doesn't matter. But like you have the bowl of the mixture and you apply it to the solar plexus chakra, the torso, arms, legs, hands, feet, neck, and even the crown. I mean, some women might not want to put it on their crown because of the hair, but I mean, you can still do it like one time out of the week, and it'll help purify the negative energy in the hair. But as you're scrubbing, you can identify the heavy spots where people are courting you, and you can just rub your hands over every inch of your body, and you can imagine light coming out too. And I think we'll talk about this later, but like green light, orange light, violet light, as you're grabbing and pulling any of the cords. And you can let this mixture just sit there and work for 30 seconds up to a minute, if you can wait that long, and then rinse it off. And then you can repeat this if necessary. If you feel things are still coming off, you can do it again. So the aromatic scalpel, this is like a 3-minute technique. And we're just allowing the salt to pull the roots of negative cords out of the physical and etheric bodies while you're doing, you can visualize energetic cords. And you can imagine like a greenish violet sword and cut the cords with it. Or you can just use your hand too. You can imagine like your hand glowing. But you're with will, you sever and release all negative energy connections, draining my vitality. All attachments are dissolved and released. I am protected and clear. And when you're in the salt water, the salt bath, the salt is doing this for you also. So the piezoelectric power of salt to extract the dense crystallized, energy, um, we must use a tool that possesses a superior energetic gravity. That means that like it absorbs things, it absorbs substances. And for thousands of years, salt has been revered as a sacred purifier. But this isn't folklore alone. It is physics. Crystalline structures possess what is known as the piezoelectric effect, the ability to generate electrical charge. Even while if you're pushing, physical pressure on it, or you can energize it and then give it the charge. So, after you're doing, the sweeping of the body, you flick it down the drain. And, there'll be like all kinds of energy also flowing everywhere. But if you want to imagine like a green flame here, you could. So sometimes after you cut the cords, there can still be roots. So you can imagine with your hands combing over every inch of the body to extract all the negative, legal, and authorized cords. And you can visualize all your chakras being purified of any dirt, disease, energies, negative thought forms, negative elementals, and thought entities. Okay, this is a duplicate. Duplicate. So this structured where, really breaking down the energy, green energy, base 3 and 4, orange energy, pink energy, and then like violet energy. And some days you'll have like some of these mixed together. So every essential oil carries a specific color, prana, or frequency. We select oils not just for their scent, but for the precise energetic action of their colored light on the human aura and the chakras. So pine, tea tree, sandalwood, lots of green prana. The violet energy is very powerful for purifying the spiritual realm, but it also purifies all the other ones also. And then golden and orange prana, very deep expelling effect. This is like a duplicate here. Another duplicate. That might be a duplicate too. So the critical step most people miss, once the salt extracts the heavy energy, it leaves behind a temporary energetic void. It can also remove some good prana. So if you leave that space empty, your aura will simply reabsorb the chaotic, sucking static or negative energy. That's if you don't like seal up the aura and protect it. Like normally, like the bath we're doing here, or the salt scrubs, it'll help energize and like make the aura very vibrant. So the stuff can't be reabsorbed and it gives you prana. And you could also take like ginseng or spirulina, different herbs to replenish. So this is like a overview of everything here. AM, PM, the blessing, 3 to 5 drop limit. If you don't have the bathtub, you can use the salt scrub. And you can also be like processing the purge where there can be a lot of emotions coming out. Just give me a second here. So the aromatic scalpel, you apply the salt scrub mixture, and you can if you want to actually clean the chakra itself, you can go clockwise, going in, grabbing the energy, and then go counterclockwise to pull it out, and then flick it, and then energize with you can use green prana, orange prana, violet prana, just depends. And then you can scan the energy of the chakra, and then you can imagine the greenish violet sword cutting the negative cords, not only on the solar, but on all the other chakras itself. It's like a recap here. So the shower and the tub is your saltwater bowl. It is your salt, your disposal unit. So as you see how she's demonstrating, she's imagining green prana sweeping off the arm and then flicking it down. Orange prana, flick. Violet, flick. Down the drain. Pink prana is in rose, jasmine. This is a recap of some of the ones about the prana. Orange prana, red prana, rosemary, patchouli. So it's extracting the energy being going into the crystals. And remember there's also crystals in water and in oil. Oh, let me get to some of these are okay, so an example morning scrub, you will be salt, carrier oil, like coconut oil, with 3 to 5 drops of essential oil. And we're going to give some examples here. And then the evening soak, 2 cups salt, or it could be 1 pound of salt, 2 pounds, plus the carrier oil. The carrier oil helps disperse the oil so it doesn't like pool. So you don't like sit in it, and it's like when you disperse it, it's called dispersant. But if you want to add some milk in it, also you can. And that's in the evening. And then we have this reminder here about the universal blessing. Everything in a big salt bowl. And you do your prayer over it. And you can energize it depending on what you're trying to do. Green prana, orange prana, violet prana, electric violet, golden prana. And we have a book about this also. And if you look in the chat, the book should be there, like a link for the. Nope, it's gone. Hold on a sec here. Put that back. I'll give you some of the recipes here, but in the book here we got a bunch more there. I put that in the chat there. Okay, let me go back over here. So you always want to do affirmation prayer. Whoop, move this out of the way. So like an example, day 1, sage oil, green, bluish, violet energy, sage oil. Day 2 morning could be peppermint and lemon, bluish, greenish, violet energy. And then in the evening can be cedarwood. And then we have like different mixtures of this. Like day 3. I mean, these are like examples, and we go more of this in the book here. But yarrow, frankincense, and if you don't have like all these oils, you can use like tea tree, eucalyptus, lavender, and just keep using the same ones over and over again. This is more about the salt scrub here. A thick paste. I remember Master Cho would have this in his bathroom all the time. Like he would take a bath, and there'd always be like a bowl, and it had this brown mixture in it, like this thick brown mixture. And he was making this salt coffee paste, like all the time he was using this. All the time he was using this. And you can ask that the salt crystals extract, absorb, disintegrate, dissolve, expel any dirty disease energy, negative cords or psychic attack that may have penetrated my system. And you can program the actual water in the bath and the salt crystals. You can have do the prayer where all the salt crystals are extracting the stuff from your body. So some of this is like a recap. Salt scrubs. But we have much more information about this stuff here. I don't know if you guys got the guide. But we got the complete book with it's got all 15 chapters. It's got 15 chapters, including all the recipes for every day. Like deep recipes is in here. And include moisturizing, how to do all the moisturizing, all the different recipes. But I got another webinar coming, guys, so I gotta get going. But check in the chat there. We've got the book there. If you guys wanna grab that. And let's see. Well,